Welcome to Desai Academy of Class 8th, second chapter Microorganisms, Friend and Foe. Right? So, here, so we already know that microorganisms. Here, micro means what? Too small, or small, we can say that. Okay, small organisms means living creatures, so living things. So, small living things. In this chapter we will mainly discussing about small living beings or living things. Okay, that is the meaning of what? Microorganisms. Micro means very small, organism means animals or living things that we are studying of small living things. Friends, you already know the meaning. And foe means what? Enemy. So whether microorganisms are friends or enemy with us, so that we have to study here. You have seen several kind of plants and animals, correct? Whenever you search around you, you will observe several kinds of plants and animals, right? Several kinds of plants and animals. However, there are other living organisms around us which we normally cannot see, correct? We are seeing different kinds of animals, we can observe different kinds of plants around us, but some organisms are there we cannot see with our eyes. Means cannot we see with our eyes means with naked eyes, right? So these are called as what? Microorganisms or microbes. So the organisms which are not seeable with our naked eyes, so that is called as microorganisms or microbes. Like animals, plants, we can easily see any without any using of some instrument. So because of they are easily seeable to our eyes, but microorganism like bacteria like this, they will not seen with our naked eyes. So that type of organisms are called as microorganisms or microbes, right? For example, you might have observed that during the rainy season, moist bread gets spoiled and its surface gets covered with grayish white patches. Okay, in a rainy season bread get spoil. Okay, in a rainy season the bread get spoil because of the bread is covered with a whitish color. Okay, white grayish whitish color on that bread. Okay, during the what rainy season bread will covered with a grayish white color on that, right? You will see tiny black rounded structures. Again you will see the, right? Again observe these patches through the magnifying glass. The bread is covered with which color? Grayish white color. So when we see this color with the magnifying glasses, so we can see in that is having what? Black rounded structures on the what? Bread. Do you know what the structures are and where do we these come from? Okay, next question comes here. These structures and these organisms where will existed or where they are come from, right? Do you find any tiny organism moving around, okay, in that bread? Using the magnifying glass you can observe any kind of movement of organisms in that. These observations that shows that water and soil are full of tiny organisms. For example, we have taken here, so this activity, okay, this activity suggests that collect some moist soil from the field in a beaker and add water to it. After the soil particles have settled down, observe a drop of water. Okay, you have taken some soil from your field. That moist soil means that moist soil you have to taken and you have to add it in a water. After some time they will be settled down in the water. After observing that soil in the water, we will seeing some movement in the organisms. Take a few drops of water from a pond, spread in a glass, slide and observe through the microscope. Okay, we can take the water from the pond, right? Lake, river, or in a steady water where the water will not moving. So in that particular place you have taken the water and you observed in the microscope. So in that microscope you can observe there is a small moment of microorganisms in that. So that small organisms are called as what? Microorganisms only. These observations shows that water and soil are full of tiny organisms. So soil also contain a variety kind of microorganisms, and water also contain variety kind of microorganisms. Though not all them fall into the category of microbes, so they will contain several kinds of microorganisms. They will not under consideration of what? Microbes. These microorganisms or microbes are so seen small in size that cannot seen with the unaided eye. Okay, remember that. So whatever the smaller organism present in the soil as well as the water, they are not seen by with our naked eyes or unaided eyes. So they will not seen very easily with our eyes. They are seen with a special kind of instrument you called as a microscope. Using the microscope, so we can easily see the smaller particle present in soil and water, but using without using a microscope we cannot see these organisms or unaided, with the unaided eyes. We can see only with the microscope. Some of these, such as a fungus that grows on a bread, can be seen with the magnifying glass. Okay, so on the bread, the grayish white color is formed what? By the water fungus. This is one type of microorganisms that is growing on the bread. Due to this growing of the fungus, the bread becomes what? Whitish in color, grayish whitish in color. So it is can observed with the what? Magnifying glasses. Others cannot be seen without the help of microscope, but we can see the fungus with the magnifying glass. Other type of microorganisms are cannot seen with the magnifying glass. They are only seen with microscopic instrument. Okay, so that is why the organisms are also called as a microscopic organism, because they are only seen with what? Microscope. That is why they are called as a microscopic organisms or microbes. That is why these are called as a microorganisms or microbes. Why they are called as the microorganism means they are organisms which are so small, they are only seen with the microscope, so they are called as what? Microorganisms. Okay, so there are mainly four types of microorganisms are there, means the broadly classified as four groups of microorganisms. What are the four groups of microorganisms? First one is what? Bacteria. First one is bacteria. Next, fungi, protozoa, and algae. These are the major microorganisms of groups. Okay, what are the major groups of microorganism means we can write bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. These are the four major groups of microorganisms. What are the four major groups of microorganisms? Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. These are the four major groups of microorganisms. All these major groups are only observed with a microscope only. Some of these common microorganisms are shown in figure 2.1 to 2.4. Later sections we'll see that what are the pictures of bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. Before that we know that we will study one by one. So what are the types of microorganisms? Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. These are the four types of microorganisms. Right. Next one will be called as, this is also one type of microorganisms. Virus also microscopic, but are different from other microorganisms. The viruses also called as a microscopic organism, but they are not considered as a same bacteria, fungi, right, algae, and algae. Another is what? Protozoa. It is some different property will be shown by virus compared to these four. Okay, so virus is also my same so virus is also microorganism. Bacteria, fungi, protozoa and algae are also microorganism, but virus will not consider in the group of these, because it will show some different property compared to these fours. Why they are having different property, we will discuss here. So they, however, reproduce only inside the cell of the host of an organism. Okay, these viruses reproduce means they will increase their population only in the host of a inside a body. These viruses reproduce their younger ones or increase their population only inside the host body, which may be a bacterium, plant or a animal. Maybe this virus will be acted on water like bacteria, plant, animal. When these viruses are contact with the bacterium, plant or animal, in that contact happened means that time only they will increase their population very rapidly. If they are not contacted with the host body means they will not reproduce their younger ones. After the contact with the host body, that time only they will reproduce their younger ones or increase their populations. Common elements like cold, influenza and most coughs are caused by the virus. Okay, remember that what are the diseases caused by the viruses means we can write a common cold and coughs and influenza are caused by the viruses. Remember that what are the diseases caused by the viruses? Common cold, influenza and cough are caused by the viruses. And also serious disease, these are the what are common but very serious diseases are what are polio and chicken pox are caused by the viruses. And viruses also causes major diseases, polio and chicken pox. Diseases like dysentery and malaria are caused by the protozoa, and protozoa causes majorly two diseases called as dysentery and malaria. And whereas typhoid and tuberculosis are caused by the bacteria causes two types of major diseases, typhoid and tuberculosis disease to the what animals. So that is called as a TB. Normally or commonly we can call it as what TB. So you have learnt about some of these microorganisms in your class 8th. Okay, so majorly these are the four types of organisms called as four types of organisms or what, four types of microorganisms: bacteria, right, fungi and protozoa, fourth one the algae, and another microorganism separately we can call that is the virus. These are the mainly microorganism we know. In that the again type of microorganisms will comes, right. Majorly four groups of microorganisms means we can write bacteria, fungi, protozoa and algae. Another type of microorganism is called as what virus, and virus is not considered in the group of microorganisms. It is a completely different type of microorganisms. Okay, variety of diseases caused by the bacteria, protozoa and viruses, we discussed that. Okay, thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel and share with your friends. Thank you.